Hey guys, and welcome back to another 5-Minute Friday, where we take one task that's been sitting on our to-do list for a while now and just work to get it done in 5 minutes or less, or somewhere around that time. For me, that task is going to be pruning our roses. So I want to take you through exactly how to do it, because roses, or at least certain types of roses, can be a bit diva-ish. And so they do need to be pruned back, and this time of year is the right time of year to do it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move the camera in nice and close and walk you through exactly what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, and how I'm going to go ahead and tackle it.
Before we even get started, let me say this. If you're pruning roses, you need proper gloves. Not just your regular gardening gloves, but actual rose gloves. The thorns on roses are no joke, and the longer cuffs on these protect your arms while you're reaching into the plant. These are the ones that I use and love, and I'll make sure to link them in the description for you below. Today I'm going to be pruning my David Austin roses. These are shrub roses, which means that they bloom on new growth. So pruning them now is exactly what's going to give you a stronger plant with better blooms this season. Early spring is the right time to start pruning, right when the plant is starting to wake up, but before it's fully leafed out. A good rule of thumb is when you start to see buds swelling, or even when forsythias start blooming. That's usually your signal in the garden. The first thing I'm looking at is the overall structure of the plant. My goal is to create an open center, almost like a vase shape, so air and light can move through the plant. That helps to prevent disease and keeps the plant healthy. And I always start the same way. First, I remove anything dead, damaged, or diseased. If you cut into a stem and it's brown inside, that means it's dead, so you need to keep cutting down until you start to see the green. Next, I take out any branches that are crossing over each other or growing inward. Anything that's crowding the center or rubbing against another branch, that has to go. And this can feel a little aggressive sometimes because you might feel like you're cutting out large portions of the plant, but it's absolutely necessary. I also then remove thin, weak growth. If it's smaller than a pencil, it's not going to support strong blooms, so I cut those out completely. Now what I'm left with are the strongest canes, and this is where the shaping really starts taking place. I'm going to cut the plant back by about 1/3 to 1/2, but I'm not cutting at a random height. I'm cutting into healthy, strong wood. But the most important part is that every cut I make is above an outward facing bud. That means I'm paying extra attention to which way that bud is facing and which way that bud is going to grow. So if it is facing towards the inside of the plant, or even if it's facing in a direction that I don't want it to, if it's going to go straight out into the walkway, or if it's going to go straight back into the fence, I don't want it growing that way. So that's how I'm able to control the shape of the plant. I'm cutting about 1/4 inch above that bud at a slight angle. The angle is what helps the water run off instead of just sitting inside the cut.
All right, so we got our roses pruned back. And while roses can be a bit diva-ish, they also can be very forgiving. So even if you make a wrong cut somewhere or do something a little bit drastic that you shouldn't have done, that's all part of the learning process. And you just are going to learn from it for the next time that you have to prune them. And if you enjoy learning about gardening, then stick around because you might also enjoy these videos. Keep growing, my friends, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.